still says we're not there. It's recording.
Perfect. Jonathan, can we unlock it so in case anyone else wants to join? Or is that going to stay locked until we are done today?
She should be.
Sorry, I was working on getting myself unmuted. I'll get that unlocked right now.
Okay, and it is recording, so we'll continue. So our executive session ended at 7:54 and no action was taken. Up next, we have our items from council members. Mayor's appointments for boards and commissions. Did we get any applications for any board or commission openings that we have, Madam City Clerk?
Yes, we actually did receive one from Lindsay Kerfman Sunday night. So I will be forwarding that over to you for the Community Economic Development Commission.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear that we're getting some interest in that group and looking forward to seeing it. Thank you. And were we able to put in social media the fact that we have some openings in our commissions and boards?
Yes, I posted a little picture that said which boards and commissions had vacancies and how many. And I also added a link to the application and my email so that people can reach out to me if they need the application sent to them directly.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I hope we get some traction that way and get some interest from our citizens and get those boards and commissions filled. Up next, we have council request status report. Madam City Manager.
So, sorry, I have multiple screens going here and I can't see where I'm at. So just a moment. So Janet, can you pull up the council request status report? Okay, so disabled parking area at the senior center. We actually on that item have an update for you. Mr. Fisher has ordered a steel ramp and we will be putting that at the front of the senior center. It will have some, and excuse my pronunciation, bollards, I believe they're called. And they will basically be barriers so that nobody could run into it with their vehicle. So we're working on that. And our staff will be able to put in some of the stuff, and then we'll basically trying to get that done this fall, hopefully where the weather stays good. So hopefully that'll be off the list here soon. And then a tree replacement plan, I'm going to defer to Public Works Director Fisher on that one.
Yeah, I can speak to that a little bit. So that's still ongoing. I had Kane Corner, one of our parks guys, made some phone calls to some tree vendors last Friday. We've got a line on some trees. And so we're kind of pulling the trigger on that and see if we can get some trees put in some of these, some of the downtown areas. We're a little short-handed right now in the streets department. So our staff, our seasonal staff's getting ready to leave at the end of this month. So we're kind of scrambling to get staff out there to get these, to prepare the sidewalk areas for the new trees to go in. And, but yeah, that's still an ongoing thing. We're still going to cut some out. We're still going to grind a few out this fall. I did speak with the city manager and with the finance director last week. We are going to put money in for sidewalk replacement for next year's budget. So that will help to kind of enhance all that as well when we pull these old trees out. We'll get all the sidewalk fixed and then put new trees in. And, you know, obviously it's kind of a tandem deal. We don't want to put new trees in where the sidewalks and curbs are all heaved from the old tree. So it's kind of going to go out hand in hand, but we are moving forward with it.
And the next item, guardrails on Riverside. Public Works Director Fisher, if you would mind filling us in on any status update of that.
Sure. So we had a meeting. I was at last Friday, we had a city safety meeting. And basically the city safety plan that we have, that we're working on right now, is we have to have that in place in order for WashDOT to allow us to apply for certain types of funding, for guardrails being one of them. And so went through our safety plan, went through some scoring stuff. Really, a lot of that is really based around crashes between cars and pedestrians, cars and bicycles, that sort of thing, or car on car, obviously. But there obviously is some concerns with Riverside and also with the canal on Sunnyside Ave. So we are still moving forward with that safety plan. And hopefully by the end of this year, we'll be able to get that buttoned up. And we'll be bringing that to council here pretty soon. And have you guys take a look at it and get that buttoned up, and then we can apply for some WashDOT funding at the end of this year, moving into 2022.
And Janet, if you could advance to the next page. Police reserves. I'm going to defer to Police Chief Escalera. If you could please update us on status of police reserves.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Currently, the reserve program, we are down to one active reservist. We just had our other reservist turn all of his gear in for several reasons. Number one, he's seeking a different business venture that will be taking a significant part of his time, but also the new legislation has certainly got him worried and would like to kind of separate from service because of those reasons. So we're down to one at the moment. We still debate whether this is something that we should continue. We roundtable that at the office once in a while due to the liabilities that are involved currently and even more so in the future. And even if we have our experienced guys like we currently have this one last reserve officer with us now, he's not somebody we're no longer going to allow him to be on his own. He's going to have to be sitting with an officer at all times. So it's really dwindled, and it is very difficult to find. And I'm not going to say it's because of the new legislation, but it's just very difficult to find people of today's generation, or even within the past 10 years, to commit their time to doing something that is voluntary or something of this nature. It's just getting harder and harder to find. It's without some kind of incentive such as pay that drives it or that is behind it for them to come out and do it. So anyway, right now it's quite bleak at the moment.
All right, Roger Brooks project. I shared with you my plan to take the pieces and parts of this project and work on them a little bit at a time. A lot of the things that are part of this project kind of go hand in hand with the things that we have on our plates otherwise. So this will just be another ongoing project. Water tower, still waiting for Chase to secure his insurance and give us all the final paperwork. So as soon as that happens, then we will be looking at design and bring that forward to council for approval before we do anything else. Increased staffing in planning and community development. We have finished our interviews this last week, and we have an apparent successful internal candidate. So we've started talks with that candidate, and we'll have more information for you with an announcement, and that'll go out via email. So that was for code enforcement. The building inspector, we did not have any internal candidates, so we will be going out to the public for building inspector. Prosecutor RFP, I have a few ideas on how to approach this one, but I think careful planning needs to be started, and we need to make sure we know what path we want to go on before we just jump right in. So I think with budget development and the things that we kind of have going on this fall, that this should be an early 2022 project, and we take that on then.
Council members, any additional items you'd like to see on the council request status report?
Maybe this is a place for it, but just to bring it up, with the placement of the farm equipment out on YVH along the pathway, we might want to maybe at some point begin thinking about what kind of signage, so people don't think that somebody just dumped their old tractors along. So I don't know. Is actually that a place for that, maybe in the Brooks or what?
I already have that on my agenda to do, so we can certainly put it on here. But I've already got a list, and basically kind of the way I think it should look. So I've already got a concept, and I just need to get some time with Greg Schlieve so that I can get all of the donors' names, and we can start identifying what kind of vehicle it is. I think it's very important that we don't go too far before we have at least a big sign that says, this is what it is.
All right, up next we have other reports, announcements, and or questions by council. And we'll go down our list with Councilor Farmer, starting with you, sir.
Nothing today.
Councilor Hart. Any reports, announcements, or questions? Councilor Hart, anything to report this time around, or you're okay?
I just wanted to reiterate on the fact that the current Miss Sunnyside Court had won the Mayor's Award at the Sun Fair Parade this past Saturday. So, and thought that was really a great start. But I think things are looking good. The streets are looking good. The parks are looking nice. So kudos to staff for those things. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor Boersma.
Most of what I needed to say, I was able to say during the discussion of LTAC. I do appreciate council's guidance and feedback on these different things. We will, as I mentioned, be meeting on Wednesday to try to hash through the other areas and get some clarification. So, yeah, other than that, I don't think I have anything at this point. Thanks.
Councilor Beeler.
Yes, I do have one question that I'm going to need help on, maybe from the Madam City Manager or Deputy Mayor Boersman. We're having a hard time filling the LTAC committee as far as people that collect. My partner, I've been with her for 37 years now. She would like to volunteer, but I got to make sure that it's okay with me being on the council and her having that position. We wouldn't have a problem. I just need to make sure that it would look good or if it's feasible, but she would like to volunteer to do that. If I can get some feedback on that.
Okay, if maybe our city clerk can reach out to maybe MRSC to make sure that there's no major conflict of interest, that would definitely be something we could look at and then maybe get back to you, Councilor Beeler. That's great. I'm glad she is willing to kind of step in there and give us her advice on the different requests for proposals. So if we could have our city clerk or maybe Ms. Alba, if you could, coordinate with them and find out what options we have for them.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I might add, just so for council's edification and for the city manager, I think you're going to find, Ms. Alba, that there's no law in the state that prohibits it. You can actually have a husband and wife team on a city council. It was in Granger at one point. We had the wife and the husband on the council. The thing comes down to the appearance of fairness doctrine, Mr. Mayor, and that's really where it's at. Does the member have to recuse himself? Do they feel they need to recuse himself? So, but I don't think you're going to find anything in the law that says that we can't appoint her to the LTAC.
I would agree with that statement. I recently did some research on it for the state board or the national board that I sit on. And there isn't even any state law. There isn't a Supreme Court ruling, nothing on this. It's pretty much, if you're willing to serve, then they're willing to take you.
Excellent. In that case, if we could have our city clerk reach out to Ms. Beeler and have those required trainings, and that we could get her on board as soon as possible. All right. So any additional comments, Councilor Beeler, or questions?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Hicks, reports, announcements, or questions?
Nothing for this meeting.
Okay, and I just want to say that this past Friday, I was able to attend the ribbon cutting for the Yakima Central Washington State Fair. It was well attended. A few of the council members were mayors mainly able to attend, and some city managers as well. So I was able to represent Sunnyside at that meeting, and then it was well attended. So I wanted to make that announcement. Besides that, I don't have anything further to add for our reports or announcements.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Sir, I was talking with Mr. Beeler on that issue, but I do have two things to report, Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead, sir.
One, the Yakima Valley Conference of Governments General Membership met last Wednesday. They voted unanimously, all cities, including Yakima, to have me sign a letter requesting that the county give back the homeless program to the COG. So all the cities in the valley are in support of it. Joe Rusick, the county prosecutor, who is the legal representative for the county, had the letter delivered to him by our executive director, and he's meeting with the commissioners supposedly this week. So hopefully we'll have an answer, hopefully next week. But the cities are not happy with the way the county is running the homeless program, and they want the COG to run it. And so that's all I can report right now, Mr. Mayor. When I get more information, obviously, I'll come back to council. I would like to thank Deputy Mayor Broersma for attending the YV COG General Membership meeting and his support for the letter. So, and then lastly, Mr. Mayor, on items going on in the Valley, I attended a ribbon cutting on Friday at the Zilla Teapot Dome. They just opened their new park and park and ride, 8 new charging stations, a great 97 parking spots, and just a really beautiful aesthetic. I was very impressed. We had Senator King there and Representative Defoe and a bunch of representatives from WashDOT. And I was there as a transportation commissioner, but also as the COG chair. So it was a great opportunity. I really suggest that if council, if you have an opportunity, go take a look at it. It would give us food for thought about what we can do in our city. So that's all I had to report, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Stucci. And okay, up next we have upcoming council meetings. Madam City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor Guerrero. Janet, if I could get the council planning agenda put up. So on October 4th workshop, this will be another budget workshop. We will be bringing forward preliminary numbers and have the items from staff. So this will be your first look at kind of our where we're at and where we're intending to go. October 11th, we'll have our public hearing for the ad valorem. And October 25th, we will have our ad valorem ordinance, the first reading or adoption. And then November 1st will be the 2022 preliminary budget to council and our city safety plan. So it's all about the budget coming up.
Thank you. Next, we have items from department heads. Madam City Manager.
So as I put in my council brief last Friday, I had the opportunity to attend the ribbon cutting for Select Insurance Agency in Sunnyside. It was very nice to be able to go to a local one. It was my first ribbon cutting in Sunnyside. Met the court and was able to put faces to the eye. So I already had seen who they were, got to talk to them. They really did a great job representing us. And then that same evening, I attended the Lions Club meeting at the Senior Center. And it was a very, very good networking for me. I'm doing my rounds this month, trying to get to all the different clubs and the different people that have things going on. We collaborated that night with Sherry Holden, that is the Senior Center kind of advisor, and she does a lot of the work there. We're going to try to bring back the community Thanksgiving dinner with local service groups, and it'll be a walk-through dinner. So it will serve the food out of the community center window in the kitchen. And then by taking shifts, not everybody will have to stay there all day. So that we'll have Noon Rotary has said that they would entertain helping. So we would have maybe an hour for Rotary, an hour for Morning Rotary, an hour for Lions, and possibly an hour for city staff that want to volunteer, or even a council member. So I think this will be a way for us to get back to a new normal, but at least get a hot meal on the Saturday before Thanksgiving in people's hands, and then be able to kind of do something, like we used to do it. And then, other things that have been coming up, we did have the person that we hired last week, and, just every day going in and just getting more and more involved in all of the things that are going on. We have a lot of good things going on in our community. So with that, I will turn it over to Public Works Director Fisher.
I have nothing further to report.
Okay, Fire Chief Anderson. And you're muted, Chief Anderson.
Oh, sorry, that works. Good evening, thank you. There's a couple things this week. We're going to be kind of off and on up at the fairgrounds with some of the other Lower Valley fire departments, staff in the public education area there for fire safety. Next week, then fire prevention. We're still unsure how this is going to work out with some of the restrictions related to schools. We normally provide the Edith House and fire prevention stuff to several thousand students, and this year it's fast approaching, but we still haven't worked out all the kinks. So we're hoping to get some of this fire prevention stuff out there. So that's about all I have. Thank you.
Police Chief Escaleta.
For the police department, we have the promotional test coming up on Friday, on Thursday. So that's the 30th. And so we will be testing candidates for the position of sergeant. And then on October 9th, I believe is the date that we have entry position testing coming up as well. Both of those are geared for some upcoming retirements, and so we're just trying to get the list certified by then. That's all I have at the moment. Thank you.
Finance and Admin Services Director Horner.
I just wanted to let council know that you should have, or you should be receiving a letter from the state auditor's office for the entrance meeting for this year's audit, which will take place at 1 p.m. on September 30th. So this week, if you are available to attend.
I'm planning to attend. If any other council member is, please let me know. And that way we try not to have a quorum, and I'll yield my seat if somebody else would like to join also. I think I see Councilor Hart. It looks like she might be interested in attending the entrance interview. Is there anyone else?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
I don't want to attend the entrance, but I'd like to attend the exit. So I'm putting my bid in for that now.
Ms. Sal, if you could write, make a note of that, so that way we have.
I will.
Perfect. So at this point, if anyone wants to attend, it'll be at 1 p.m. Again, so far we have myself and Councilor Hart. I did get the letter and I put it in my calendar, so I'll try to make sure I make it at that time.
Terrific. And then City Clerk Renteria.
Well, we're getting close to my baby's due date. So if for some reason I don't respond to an email right away or something, it either means that I'm trying to catch up or I'm had the baby. But so we'll see. Your next meeting will be October 4th. And so Janice will be putting all the agendas together from now on. So if you have any questions, you can email her and you can CC me, and one of us will answer depending on who's there at that moment. And then just, I ask that you be patient with her, as she doesn't do this all the time, but she's very smart and can handle all this. It takes a little bit to get used to it all again.
And with that, we have nothing further from department heads. Thank you, Mayor Guerrero.
Thank you, Madam City Manager. And there being no further business to come before council, and without objection, I adjourn this meeting at 8:24 p.m. Thank you, everyone, and have a great rest of the evening.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good
Good
night,
night,
everyone.
everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, staff.
Good night, all.
Good night.